Hello everyone, welcome to Indian Judicial Service. Now we are going to solving MPPCJ paper 2012. This video is the second part, and in this video we cover 50 questions. In previous video we just cover up 1 to 50 questions, and in this video we cover question number 51 to 100. And before starting this video, I request you, if you not subscribe our channel, please subscribe it, and please like and share our videos. Now come to the point here. Question number 51. In which of the following case the Supreme Court has elaborately issued the guidelines on child labor? This is very important here. Under Article 23 of Constitution of India. First of all, we discuss here MC Mehta versus State of Tamil Nadu. MC Mehta versus State of Tamil Nadu, AIR 1997. Supreme Court. In this case, the Supreme Court held that the child below the age of 14 years cannot be employed in hazardous industry. And so second one case is here, Bandhua Mukti Morcha versus Union of India. In this case, Supreme Court held that the basic cause of child labor being poverty. So in both cases, the Supreme Court dealt with child labor, the problem of child labor here under Article 23. So answer of this question is here option D, both A and B. Now question number 52. The following is not immovable property. So option A, royalty, option B, right to way, option C, right to fishing, and option D, right to redemption. So it is clear here, royalty is not immovable property. And which section is relevant for this? Section 3 of Transfer of Property Act. So answer here option A. Now question number 53. The tangible immovable property of value of this amount or upward can be transferred only by the registered instrument. So it is clear here, rupees 100. So answer of this question is here option A, and this question is related to section 54 of Transfer of Property Act. Question number 54. The transfer of immovable property by way of gift not comprises necessary element is. So in this question, the transfer of property here, which type of property? Immovable property. And what is the medium of transfer here? The way of gift. So now option A here, donor and donee. Yes, in the transfer as a gift, their donor and donee is necessary element. Acceptance by or on behalf of donee. Yes, acceptance is also necessary element for gift. Now option C here, by way of registered deed attested by at least 2 witnesses. So in this question, property is immovable, so registered deed is necessary element here. And now option D here, only delivery of the property. Yes, this element is not necessary in immovable property by the way of gift. So answer here option D. Now question number 55. Which interest is not transferable? So option A here, vested interest. Option B here, contingent interest. Option C here, mere space successness. And option D here, interest of lease. If anybody having a mere speculation, mere a chance to getting a property as a successor, so in that person not have a right to transfer such property. So answer of this question is here option C. Now question number 56. In case of usufructuary mortgage, the mortgage is placed in the possession. He has right to receive the rent and other profit. Option A, till the correct of rescinded. Option B, till the mortgage money is paid. And option C, for a fixed period of 30 years. And option D, for fixed period of 99 years. So it is clear here, answer option B, till the mortgage money is paid. Now question number 57. According to order 8 rule 1, the defendant shall file the written statement of his defense within 30 days. So answer is here option A. Now question number 58. In second appeal, the reappreciation of evidence is option A here, permissible. Option B here, subject of revision. Option C here, not permissible. And option D here, none of the above. So answer is here not permissible. In second appeal, reappreciation of evidence is not permissible, and under which section? Under section 100, under section 100 of CPC. Now question number 59. A temporary injunction may be granted. So temporary injunction may be granted to restrain any election. Option B here, to restrain dispossession from property. Option C here, to restrain any intended disciplinary action against a public servant. And option D here, in all the above circumstances. So answer of this question is here option B, to restrain dispossession from property, and under order 39, order 39 CPC. Now question number 60. Where may suit for partition of immovable property be instituted? So option A here, where the subject matter or property is situated. Option B here, where defendant actually and voluntarily reside. Option C here, where defendant carries on business. And option D here, where defendant work for gain. So answer is here option A, where subject matter or property is situated. Question number 61. Under which of the following circumstances the review of judgment may not lie? So option A here, by a decree or order from which an appeal is allowed by this court, but from which no appeal has preferred. So answer of this question is here option A, and this thing is provided in section 114 clause A. So answer here option A. Question number 62. In which of the following cases the court may not issue a commission? Option A here, for execution of decree. Option B here, to examine any person. Option C here, to make a partition. Option D here, to hold a scientific, technical and expert investigation. So in this case answer is here option A, for execution of decree. Means the court may not issue commission for execution of decree. And remain option, in remain options the court may issues the commission for examination of any person, for making partition and hold scientific, technical and expert investigation. So answer here option A. And under which section it? So under section 75 to 78. Now question number 63. An ex parte decree can be set aside under. So ex parte decree can be set aside under which order? So under order 9 rule 13. So under order 9 rule 13 of CPC. So answer is here option B. Now question number 64. Right to withdraw a suit is. So right to withdraw suit is an absolute right of plaintiff. So answer is here option A, and this thing is provided in order 23 rule 3. And this order 23 rule 3 clearly said that the court may grant the plaintiff permission to withdraw from the suit. So this thing is provided in order 23 rule 3. Now question number 65. In which agreement the consideration is necessary? So these questions are related to Indian Contract Act 1872. So option A here, the contract made on account of love and affection, natural love and affection. Option B here, to pay time bar debt. Option C here, contract of agency. And option D here, contract of indemnity. So answer of this question is here option A, the contract made on account of natural love and affection. And this thing is clearly provided in section 25 clause 1. So section 25 subsection 1, not clause 1, subsection 1 of Indian Contract Act 1872. Now question number 66. In which of the following circumstance original contract need to be performed? Option A, novation. Option B, recession. Option C, alteration. And option D, stipulation. So answer is here option D, stipulation. And this thing is clearly provided in section 62 of Indian Contract Act. Now question number 67. A contract to pay B a sum of money when B marries C. This is a type of contract. Option A, contingent contract. Option B, vested contract. Option C, illegal contract. And option D, voidable contract. So it is clear here, this contract is contingent contract. So answer is here option A. And under which section? Under section 31. Under section 31. Now question number 68. Out of the following agreement, which one is not void? So the agreement with handicapped person. Yes, agreement with a handicapped person is not void agreement. So this is our correct answer here. And agreement restraint of marriage, yes, this is wrong here because such contract is void here. Visiting contract already void here. And the agreement without consideration, yes, this is also void. Now question number 69. Who may obtain specific performance of contract in his favor? So option A here, any party of the contract. Option B here, representative in interest of principal or any party. Option C here, when a company has entered into a contract and subsequently become amalgamated with another company, the new company which arises out of the amalgamation. And option D, all of them. So answer of this question is here option D, all of the above. Now question number 70. The contract not specifically enforceable. So option A here, a contract for non-performance of which compensation is in money is an adequate relief. Option B here, the contract which run into such minute and numerous detail. This is very important here. And in first option there is adequate relief. This is important point here. And now option C here, the contract the performance of which involve the performance of continuous duty and which is the court cannot supervise. This is very important here, and continue duty is important. So in all these conditions the contract not specifically enforceable. So answer is here option D, and this thing is provided in Specific Relief Act under section 14. So answer here option D. Now question number 71. A suit for possession of an immovable property under section 6 of Specific Relief Act can be filed within 6 months of dispossession. So answer is here option A. Question number 72. An injunction granted during the pendency of suit under section 37 of Specific Relief Act is known as temporary injunction. So answer is here option C, and this thing is provided in section 37 subsection 1. Now question number 73. Where a prescribed period for any suit, appeal and application expires on the day when the court is closed, the suit, appeal or application may be instituted, preferred or made on the day. Option A here, when the court reopen. So when the court reopen. Option B here, at the residence of judge on the day of vacation. Option C here, both A and B, and option D, none of them. So it is clear here, when the court reopen. So answer is here option A. Now question number 74. An acknowledged made after the period of limitation. So option A here is of no effect. So the acknowledged, the made after the period of limitation is of no effect. So answer is here option A, and this thing is provided in section 18 of Limitation Act. Now question number 75. The period for limitation for filing defamation suit is, so period for limitation for filing a defamation suit is 1 year. So answer is here option A, and this thing is provided in para 3 entry 75 and 76 of the schedule attached to the Limitation Act, provide for limitation period of 1 year. So this thing is here, so option A is correct here. Now question number 76. And counterclaim under section 3 of Limitation Act 1963 shall be deemed to have been instituted, option A here, on the same day when the suit in which counterclaim is made has been filed. Option B here, on the day on which the counterclaim is filed. Option C here, either A or B, whichever be beneficial to the defendant. And option D here, either A or B, whichever is beneficial to the plaintiff. So the counterclaim under section 3 of Limitation Act shall be deemed to have been instituted on the day on which counterclaim is filed. So answer is here option B. And this thing is provided in section 3 subsection 2 clause B subclause 2. Question number 84. The essential supply enjoyed by tenant in respect of accommodation let to him is cut off by landlord. So here landlord cut his essential supply to enjoy the tenant, who will make an order to restore such supply. So who can make an order? This is very important question. So option A here, collector. Option B, civil court. Option C, rent controlling authority. And option D, municipal corporation and municipality, as the case may be. So answer of this question is clearly here, rent controlling authority. So answer is here option C. Now question number 85. Who is not a revenue officer? So settlement officer, yes, settlement officer is revenue officer here. Revenue inspector, assistant superintendent land records, and Nayab Tehsildar. So it is clear here, revenue inspector is not a revenue officer. So answer here option B. Now question number 86. Whether civil court can decide a restatement in statement of Bhuswami and who has been temporarily dispossessed under section 250 of Land Revenue Code. Option A here yes, option B here no, option C here with the consent of Revenue Code, and option D here with the consent of Patwari. So answer of this question is here option B, no. So in such person can apply to Tehsildar for putting him the actual possession of land allotted to him under patta granted to him. So this thing is provided in section 25 order 8 of Land Revenue Code, MP Land Revenue Code, not Land Revenue Code, of MP Land Revenue Code 1959. So answer is here no. Now question number 87. So 87 dealing here, Wajib ul Arj of village is maintained by the. So Wajib ul Arj of village maintained by the sub-divisional officer. So answer here option C. Now question number 88. Under the code of second appeal against the order passed by collector shall lie before. So shall lie before commissioner. So answer is here option A. And this thing is here clearly provided in section 44 subsection 2 clause 1. So this is very important here, section 44 subsection 2 clause 1. Now question number 89. Who among the following is not authorized under the code to transfer the land through lease? Option A here widow, option B here unmarried daughter, option C here married woman, and option D here cooperative society. So answer is here clear, married woman. Married woman are not authorized under the code to transfer the land through lease. So answer here option C. Now question number 90. The agriculture year will start from. So agriculture year will start from 1st July. So answer is here option C. Now question number 91. What punishment can be imposed in default of payment of land revenue? So which type of punishment? What punishment here? So 100%. So 100% punishment imposed in default of payment of land revenue. Answer is here option D. Now question number 92. Where a Bhuswami has been dispossessed unauthorizedly, he will make up an application for restitution of possession under section 250. So this section is very important here, 250. So restitution of the possession, and where the former means Bhuswami unauthorizedly dispossessed. So of code before option A Tehsildar, option B sub-divisional officer, option C here collector, and option D here revenue inspector. So answer is here Tehsildar. So option A is correct here. And this thing is provided in section 250 clause B, section 250B. Question number 93. Where a charge upon A committing a murder at Calcutta on a certain day, and he take a plea that on that day he was at Lahore. This is very important question, many times asked in various exams in various states. This statement of A is relevant under which section of the Evidence Act? So this statement is related to a plea of alibi, and this is clearly mentioned in section 11 of Indian Evidence Act. So answer is here option C. Now question number 94. During the course of investigation information received from an accused and who is in police custody led to his discovery about arm, the cloth, ornament, corpus, and which are related with the offence are relevant under section 27 of Indian Evidence Act. This principle is laid down in the case of law. So this principle is laid down in case of Pulukuri Kotya versus Emperor. So answer of this question is here option A. Now question number 95. Under section 102 of Evidence Act, the burden of proof. So burden of proof seldom changes, never changes, change continuously, and none of the above. So it is change continuously. So answer is here option C. Now question number 96. The right to cross examination of witness has. So cross examination of witness has the party who call him, adverse party, option C court, none of the above. So clearly answer is here option B. Option B adverse party, and this thing is provided in section 137. Section 137 dealing with the examination of witness by adverse party shall be called the cross examination, and the examination by a party who called the witness, such examination is called examination of chief. So answer of this question is here option B. Now question number 97. The admissibility of electronic record has been prescribed under section. So this question is very important, many times asked this question in various judicial exams. So answer is here 65B. So answer here option B. Now question number 98. The evidence given by dummed witness, so evidence given by dummed witness in the court by writing or sign shall be deemed to be. So shall be deemed to be oral evidence, and that person is dummed witness and he give his evidence by way of writing and sign, but his evidence, his or she's evidence deemed to be oral evidence. So answer here option B. And which section is relevant in this context? So section 119. Section 119 dealing with dummed witness. Now question number 99. The leading question without the permission of court may be asked in. This is very important question here. So the leading question without the permission of court may be asked in cross examination. So answer is here option C. And what is leading question? So leading question is that question which also contain answer, and the answer of always these questions given by the witness in yes or no. So answer of this question is here option C, cross examination. And under which section? Under section 143 it is leading here. This section is dealing with the leading question. Now question number 100, final question of this video. The following section of Indian Evidence Act related to dowry death. So section clearly 113B related to dowry death. So answer here option B. Now finish this video, and if you like this video, please click on like and share our videos to your friends and other social medias network. And if you are not subscribe our channel, please subscribe it. This channel is very helpful for judicial preparation. And so thank you for watching Indian Judicial Service.